Hey everybody, this is Tap for Boba, and today we're gonna talk about GameStop. We're really gonna be pissed off, and we're gonna talk a bunch of smack about GameStop because they are playing the fuck around game, and I hope they find out. So, what are we talking about here? Two things. Number one, they are talking about removing pro membership perks, discounts for Pokemon cards. The 5% off that you get for being a pro member, they're going to remove that. And this one doesn't really apply so much for Pokemon TCG, but warranties are also going to be removed. So basically, the only positive of getting a membership is essentially getting that $5 off every single month. It pays for the membership, but for something that to be offered like that and then taken away from you because the market is good for Pokemon cards right now, that's disgusting. That's not right. And I would not be surprised if a lot of people cancel their GameStop membership. Now, so all this should be in effect on Sunday. There's also talk that they're going to remove more discounts. They're going to remove military and first responder discounts. And basically, all this is targeted for the TCG. All because GameStop wants a bigger piece of that beautiful, yummy TCG pie. We all heard of the news about GameStop trying to change every single store into like a little mini LGS. The one I frequent started putting up tables for people to enjoy, trade, maybe eventually even have tournaments there. I believe that's the goal. I mean, that's fine and dandy. If the cards are what's saving you, then by all means go all in. But if it's saving you, why, oh why, are you guys upping the prices and removing all discounts and perks on the TCG? You're just driving people away with your greed. And I'll tell you this. This happened before. Back in the COVID era, GameStop seemed to be one of the few places being able to get Pokemon TCG. Booster packs were $3.99 each. And, that was great. And, I mean, yeah, they're $4.99 now with the, ever since Scarlet Violet and the price increases. But in the middle, out of nowhere, I went into my local GameStop. Back then, I did work next to a GameStop, befriended everyone. It was kind of cool. And then so I went in, and then they looked at me and I asked them if they have any Pokemon cards, and they said, "Yeah, we do, but just to let you know, everything's $1 more." And I looked at them and go, "Hey, wait a minute, why is it $1 more? Why am I paying $1 more for Fusion Strike blisters that you guys just got?" At the time, the market was overprinted, everything was crashing. It didn't make sense for me to buy any packs at $3.99, at $4.99 when everything was $3.99. I believe that the response was so bad, GameStop did change their prices back to $3.99 eventually. I do remember going back to that GameStop a little bit later and seeing booster packs down to $3.99. So I don't know if it was just like a location thing. It was a memo that went out, but GameStop stepped one step too far into the greed section. They just saw their profits freeze up and they said, "Oh, no, we did a bad thing," and then reversed that really quickly. Now, I believe they're going to do the same thing. Now, I hope they do the same thing because this next little tidbit of news is going to be even more infuriating. Today is October 30th. In 2 days, Mega Evolution Wave 2 will officially hit everywhere, including GameStop. And GameStop drops on that Saturday will have all of Mega Evolution items. And guess what they announced right before all this is going to drop? They are raising their prices again. Now, their prices weren't that great to begin with, but they're not bad. They're definitely under market. Except their booster bundles. For some reason, GameStop priced all booster bundles at $39.99, which, depending on the set, it's, just shy of market, even though the MSRP is $29 after taxes. So it didn't make any sense to buy a lot of the booster bundles, and they weren't even selling the good ones. They weren't even selling like 151 or prismatic. Yeah, sure, sometimes they drop prismatic, but most of the time it's the more recent stuff like Surging Sparks. I remember getting a couple of Twilight. It's not 151 prismatic. That's the only one to make it worth it. Paying $40 at a big box store for booster bundles. Now, I believe that has not changed, but they are raising their prices of their Elite Trainer boxes $10. So before, Elite Trainer box MSRP $49.99, GameStop selling at $59.99, and now they're gonna sell it at $69.99. They're raising the prices, and on top of that, booster boxes. If you guys didn't know, GameStop used to sell booster boxes for basically $200 pre-tax and pre-pro membership discount. On November 1st, when they drop the Wave 2 Mega Evolution, they're going to sell for $240, basically $239.99. I do believe that the discounts will apply here, and then you'll get hit by the tax depending on where you live. But come on, GameStop, this is not the way to do things. And then on top of that, they are keeping those prices for Phantasmal, which will drop a couple of weeks after this Mega Evolution Wave 2. And then to add an extra cherry on top, they have announced that they're going to raise their prices for that Charizard UPC coming up. And on top of all that, if you thought it was over, it is not over. GameStop is going to raise their prices for the Phantasmal Flames UPC, the big Charizard one. They are going to raise it from $140 to $160. That's disgusting, in my opinion. GameStop shouldn't have done all this. They were just fine the way they were. The prices were teeter-tottering on kind of the expensive side, but it was still, in the green. It was still agreeable. Now, if you're going to remove all those benefits, you're going to remove all those discounts, just for what, 5%? You're really going to take that 5% away from us? That's so greedy. That's so penny pinching, and it's so gross. It makes you feel gross. And at this point, for their prices, you could actually find Mega Evolution for just a little bit more, and it might crash down. Market might go down under 240 at this point. I'm seeing on Facebook marketplaces people selling Mega Evolution enhanced boxes for 250 now, and that's dropped from 280 maybe 2 weeks ago. And what's to say it might drop down to 220, 225 in a couple of weeks from now. So for GameStop to raise their prices, that's just stupid. They have mistimed the market. If they really wanted to do this, they should have done this at their initial release, when Pokemon was super red hot, when people were waiting overnight, or when people were waiting in front of the doors as soon as GameStop closes for the drop the next day. People did that for Journey Together. I went to a GameStop. I was in a plaza in another city, and I was out with my family, and then I saw a line forming at 8 p.m. And I asked them, "Are you guys really waiting for Pokemon right now?" And they say, "Yeah." And it was for the Journey Together. It was for the Journey Together release. And then on the page, it said they only had like 8 ETBs, 140 packs, and then maybe like one booster box and a couple of auxiliary items. But people waited for that. That's when the market is hot. That's when they should have raised the prices. And I don't even think they should have raised it, as much as they did. I think ETBs, they're right on the money. Booster boxes, if you maybe 220 is okay, we could swallow that. But 240, that big of a jump, that's no good. And I don't know where GameStop gets their supply from. I did hear that distributors are raising their prices, as they always do for a Wave 2 or a Wave 3 or a Wave 4. That's the only reason why market conditions don't really improve as fast. If anything, it just screws over the LGSs and the people they distribute to. Okay, let's just say for the benefit of the doubt, where they get their product from charges them $210 for a booster box. I wouldn't even buy it then. I would just say no to the distributor. Stop it at that point. But no, people want the product, and then I guess in order to meet their margins, in order for GameStop to not fail, because I mean, selling video games now is such a great industry, right? And that's such a great market to be in right now. So they just swing really hard into the TCG. But if you want to swing that hard into a TCG, don't fuck it up. And they're totally fucking it up right now. It's not a good feeling as a pro member to be reading all this, to know that all of our goodies are taken away just for a couple of bucks, just because they know the going is good right now. But you know, they're fucking around right now. But the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. That's all I have to say about GameStop. I hope you guys reconsider going to GameStop for your drops from now on. At least not for booster boxes and ETBs. You guys could definitely find that cheaper. And you know, at this time, you know, speak with your wallets. GameStop starts seeing the ETBs piling up and not selling, they're gonna know they made a mistake and they're gonna retrace it. Hopefully, if they're smart. Not saying they are. I'm not banking on it. But if they're smart, they know what to do, and they know that they messed up with their pricing based on the sales. They will retrace their prices. So, moral of the story: GameStop is currently fucking around right now, and the more you fuck around, the more you find out. This is Tap for Boba. I'm all tapped out.